Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you, wherever you may be. This is By Hook or By Needles, and I am Sam. I've lost the spongy thing off the top of the microphone. I suspect one of my cats has taken a liking to it and disappeared with it. So, yeah, I don't know how it's going to sound without the spongy thing on. Oh, this is for Panda. How do I do that then? Oh, hang on. Hello, Panda. That should echo. That should have echoed. I don't know. Be interesting. Let me know, Panda, if that did echo. I've got a bit of a yarn haul. Plus, I've got some exciting news. Plus, I'm going to answer some questions that Linda Saks, S-A-K-S-E-I-D-E, tagged me as like a little challenge to answer 10 questions. Yarning questions, crafting questions. So I'm going to do that as well. Firstly, I want to, before showing you my yarn haul, I want to address the Hobbii email to all Australian purchasers. I think it might be possibly a scam. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because when I got my email as well, and when I got the email, normally if you click on the heading where the company name is, that will take you to the website. I did that, and it told me not found. Now, that usually tells me, a broken link usually tells me possible scam. Then I actually I used my own link. I went to my own saved bookmarks, and I went to Hobbii and clicked on that, and that takes me obviously to the Australian site, and that's an ambulance or maybe a fire truck, nothing. There was nothing there saying the Australian Hobbii is closing down. Now, maybe someone else found something, but I couldn't find anything mentioning anywhere on the Hobbii Australian website for selling their yarn, any indication at all that there was a closure coming. Now, normally, Hobbii are big on putting big banners at the top with, sale countdowns and all that sort of thing. But there was nothing. There was no, this site is closing in X number of days, getting quick. So that made me also wonder, well, is this real? So I would just say to people, let's not worry about it just yet. Definitely don't use any of the links in the email, which I try to do. But yeah, because there was a broken link, and there's just nothing on the website. And if you did find something on the website, please, in the comments, let me know that you did find something on the website, that clarified that or confirmed that, yeah, the Australian Hobbii site, whatever, was closing down, because I'd really, really be interested to see that. So anyway, that got me to thinking that a lot of people were saying, well, what am I going to do now? Where am I going to go for my yarn? Well, I'm going to introduce you to a place that I've tried to introduce you to before, and that is called Wool Warehouse. That is that's my address on there. Hang on. Just cover that up, and cover that up, and cover that up. Alright. This is that icon. Okay, Wool Warehouse, two little sheep. Okay, they are based in the UK. They have, I've seen on their site, Lion Brand, Red Heart. They have Stylecraft Special DK. They have their own brand, which is called Yarnsmith. They have cotton, big cotton cakes like Cotton Kings and all this other stuff. Cheaper than you can get it on Hobbii. Cheaper postage than you can get it on Hobbii. Problem solved. If Hobbii is shutting down, check out Wool Warehouse. Now, I just actually recently, today, actually, a few hours ago, got a nice yarn haul from them. And I'm going to walk you through that. And I'm actually going to tell you exactly what it cost me per ball, per skein, with the postage included. Okay, so you can compare that. Now, I did do a comparison a while back of 5 acrylic yarns, which were the Stylecraft Special DK, the Yarnsmith's Create DK, the Hayfield Cedar Hayfield Bonus DK, the Skepiers, which is how you meant to say ship years. Ship years one. You know that place? Skep years is how you're supposed to say it, or that, at least that's what I've been told. So that was Colour Crafted DK. And finally, the Australian Marvel DK, which we get in here at Spotlight. So if you want to go back and have a look at that, I'll put that link in the description for you in case you do want to have a look at it. I did do a full comparison. I looked at the length, like how many meterage, how much meterage you got per ball, what the washing instruction comparison was like, what the softness feel was like, whether or not they had passed any special standards and that sort of thing, where they were produced. I also commented on. Now, at the time when I did that, Stylecraft Special DK was being produced for Wool Warehouse in Turkey. It has since returned to Yorkshire in the UK. So it may even come down in price a little bit because of that. I don't know. The Yarnsmith's label at Wool Warehouse is their own personal shop label, just like Hobbii and all the others had their own sort of home brand sort of label. And my personal opinion with the softness, and when you compare everything else, like where it was made, the length, how you wash it and all the rest of it, the Yarnsmith Create from Wool Warehouse, and I hope that's the right way around. It's looking the wrong way around for me, and that usually means it's the right way around for you. And there it is. I mean, there's the 2 sheep. Now this is 100 grams, which is 3.5 ounces. It's 290 meters, or 317 yards, and it's 100% acrylic. Cool wash, that's machine wash, cool iron, cool tumble dry. Obviously do not bleach, maybe dry cleaned. Now, when you compare that to the fact, and I can't find any of the labels, and I'm going off memory here, when you compare that to the fact that our next, or the cheapest yarn available was the Marvel from Spotlight per yarn skein. I think it can be machine washed, but it must be dried flat, can't be ironed and it can't be put in a tumble dryer, that's a pretty good deal. Now, I usually only buy from Wool Warehouse when they do have a special. The same way I only ever used to buy from Hobbii when it had a special. Because for my money, Hobbii is just way overpriced. Even when they have a 60% off deal. Once I've doubled the price because that's what the comparison rate is, and add postage, it's just ridiculous. And I buy very, very rarely from Hobbii for that reason. And I'd much rather go to somewhere like Wool Warehouse where the postage is cheaper and all the pricing is almost, well, it's less usually, when on an overall scale. And they have a humongous range, just as Hobbii do. So, let's look at my yarn haul. I got, now all the stats are the same, as I've just told you. 100 grams, 3.5 ounces, 290 meters or 317 yards, 100% acrylic. This is their silver, which is a nice sort of pale, medium, almost grey. Now I got this to make a jumper or jumpers. Excuse me for just a second. I swear, every time I turn the camera on, Froggy jumps down my throat. Jumpers. And I was going to combine this, well, not like hold the threads together, but combine this with some other lovely colours that I bought that I'm now going to share with you. So I got 10 skeins of this. Now, per 100 grams, I added the postage on each skein for 100 grams. I have got some balls here that are 150 grams, and I added on what it would cost for the 150 grams only onto the 150 gram balls, and onto the 100 gram balls or skeins I added the price for 100 grams. So I got 10 of the grey, and then intermingled in all of that I got some really beautiful bright colours because they were having a real good sale. I got a gorgeous purple, and that actually looks purple. I got 2 of these, and I got 2 of these, a blue. I got 2 orange. That's a little bit brighter in person than it is showing up there. 2 yellow. Again, that's probably a little bit brighter. Maybe if I bring it back here. 2 yellow. 2 green. I love this green, and I'm not a green person, but I love this green. 2 green. 2 pink. And if you don't like pink, that's fine. I was somewhere the other day, I can't remember what it was, and they said something about people who don't like pink are questionable or something stupid. Or something silly, I should say, not stupid, something silly. And I thought, oh, rubbish. We all have our preferences, don't we? And something, a bright red. Okay? So they are the 2 of those. So I've got 2 colours of each of the colours of the rainbows. They actually sold these in colour packs. I can't remember how much the packs were. Does it say here how much the packs were? No. Okay, so I think currently there's a 20% off on them. So each skein cost me, including postage, $4.68 Australian. That's going to be less if you're in the US, just because of the way the exchange rate is. It's going to be way less if you're in the UK, because of the exchange rate. $4.68. Now, I'm looking around for a Marvel and I can't find one. Marvel, same weight and everything, except for slightly different washing conditions. Marvel is made in China. This one is made in, I think it was Turkey. Yeah, made in Turkey under license for Wool Warehouse. But I'm wondering, because this is so similar to Stylecraft, even the color range, there's 120 colors available in this. 120. That is more than Stylecraft offer for color wise. I'm wondering if that's coming back or going back to the UK as well, and therefore might come down in price even more. But in the UK, at the moment it's £1 79 pence per ball. Okay, so $4.68 Australian delivered per skein. And I got 20, hang on, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 24 balls of this stuff all up. So I've got 2 of each of the colours and then 10 of the grey. So $4.68. Marvel, which is 100 grams Australian acrylic that is available at Spotlight, made in China. Normally, I think it's $5.15 or $5.40. Now that's if you go into the store to buy. If you want delivery, for free delivery, you have to spend 120 Australian dollars now to get a free delivery from Spotlight. But if you go in, you can get it, so it's going to be even more per skein. If you buy less than $120 worth, and in my opinion, this stuff is just so much nicer, but we are all different. I just happen to love it. Now, the other yarn I got, which was on super special, now, normally, I think they've charged me the wrong price for that. Let me have a look. I got, once again, this is a Yarn Smiths. It's a cake. Let me have a look at the Yarn Smiths. It's a DK weight. This is being discontinued, the colour I got. Nope, that's right, yep. £2.90. £2.90. It's 150 grams, which is 5.3 ounces. 540 meters, or 590 yards. 100% acrylic. Cool wash, cool iron, cool tumble dry. And there are, how many colours? Goodness. 5, 10, 15, about 20 colours. About 20 colours of these available. But the normal price is a lot more. What was their normal price? So it's £2.90. Normally £7.20. But the ones that are actually £7.20 are currently three cakes for £10. So there's even a deal there. So I got five cakes, 150 grams. These worked out, and that doesn't seem right. I think they might have charged me too much. $2.90. That's right. So with postage, allowing for the delivery, and allowing for the fact that it's exchange rate and all the rest of it, $7.92 Australian cents. For 150 grams. Now, if you went to Spotlight which is our Michael's or our Joann's, not that you have a Joann's anymore. A skein like this a cake like this might normally cost you there anything from, without a special, 15 to 25 Australian dollars. I got it for less than 8 Australian dollars, and that included the postage. All up, if you it works out to be, I think I worked it out to be about $5.50 per ball overall, not allowing for difference in weights and everything. It's still a damn good price. So if you are an Australian and Hobbii is shutting down, I suggest you go and check out the Wool Warehouse. I'll put the link to the Wool Warehouse in the description box, along with the link to the comparison of the 5 acrylics that I did way back. And like I say, I cover pretty much everything except how they crochet up, but I have used all of them and I know how they all crochet up. And my personal opinion is that the final order I think I give from 1 to 5 is probably the same in how you work them up, when you're working them. So I want to actually, I've got someone I want to send some of this to. But I'm not sure if I've got enough. She says 24 balls, and I'm not sure if I've got enough. So anyway, that was my yarn haul. Yippee! Big yarn haul, really. For me, that was a big yarn haul. All up, I think it was like 150, including delivery, Australian dollars. Obviously, when you're shopping on the website, you can click Australian price, and it will give you the approximate Australian cost, because obviously the exchange rate is always changing, so it only gives you an approximate thing. Also, what I love about Wool Warehouse, I don't think Spotlight don't do it, I don't think Hobbii do it, I don't think they do. I'm not to my knowledge. But on Wool Warehouse, you can actually select, it says here, dye lot. And then it gives you the choice for them to choose for you. So they will just pick whatever skein up. Or you can select to have a certain dye lot. In this case, it's only given me one option of a dye lot, which is number 3. Well, it's a different one to this one. This one's dye lot 15. It's only given me the one option because currently there's only 49 of them. And it also tells you how many balls are available. Of the Yarnsmiths one called Sheldon, which is yellow, blue, purple, pink, deep purple, and dark blue, is dye lot 3, and there's 47 in stock of them. But Wool Warehouse, please, if you're panicking about Hobbii shutting down, check them out, because with the price, even with the postage, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, and you're going to find that you might have been wasting your money with Hobbii, to be perfectly honest. Until I found Wool Warehouse, I was really surprised to see how good and reasonable their prices were. So, just finally, $4.68 per ball, or per skein, Australian dollars. This was on special, but the equivalent for Australian yarn available in Australia on special is normally $3.15, not including delivery, or it's $5.40 normal price for this in Australian stores. This one I got for under $8. The only reason I got it for so cheap was because it is discontinuing the colour. So I'm actually going to mix that with that, And I'm going to mix all the rainbows with that as well to make jumpers. But anyway, that's that. Now, exciting news or answer questions. And I saw there was something else I was going to do. I can't remember. Anyway, I'll quickly show you. Almost zero progress made with my socks. I have done the leg and the heel. And I've started on the foot. I'm doing the gusset at the moment. I've started on the foot. For those who follow Battle of the Stitches, this is my completed item for that. It's just a little short table runner, just to go on a side table or, dressing table, under the TV, on the TV table, something like that. So that was what I finished there. I have finished my hooker versus hooker. Not allowed to show you. Sorry. Okay. Happy news. Really good, surprising news to answer questions. All right, I'll give you the exciting news. I am a grandma. Yay! My grandson was born in the UK, so these are UK times. He was born at 2 minutes to 5 p.m. Saturday the 17th of May. No name, as my daughter's girlfriend who had the baby. My daughter didn't have the baby. My daughter's girlfriend had the baby. She is Jewish, and Jewish tradition doesn't normally name their children until the 7th day or something like that. So, no name, but it's a little boy. He was 3 grams short of 3 kilo, and I know you're going to ask me what 3 kilo is. 3 kilo is 6.6 pound. It's more than he weighs more than that. Oh dear, let me put in 3 kilo 2 pounds. 6.6 pound. He is a lot smaller than I thought. I thought he was over 7 pound, like my 2 were. But still, 6.6 is not a bad size for your first one. So, that's my good news. I'm a grandmother. Mother and baby doing well. Yeah. So, that is that. Now, I can't show you a photo, not because I'm not allowed to, but because I haven't got one on a device or have I? I suppose I could show you from this device, couldn't I? Sorry. Let me see. Where is he? Oh dear. Alright, let's have a look. I know it's in here. My iPad is doing weird things. I click on like an app and then it goes to black screen, so I've got to reopen it and then click on the app again and then it opens again. Okay, there is my daughter with her son. So yeah, little boy, which I knew anyway. I've known for a while, but I just wasn't allowed to say anything for a while because she didn't, didn't. At first it was like, don't tell anyone we're pregnant until we got to 12 weeks. Then I was allowed to say that they were having a baby, and then she said, but don't tell anyone we're having a boy, and I think they wanted that confirmed as well. And so I think at the second scan, that's when I was allowed to sort of say it was a boy. Anyway, so that's my exciting news. Okay. So back to the questions that Linda on her channel posed and tagged me to answer. And they're similar questions to, I think I've answered before, but some aren't, some are. So we're going to go through them. Fairly quickly because I realize time is not our friend. Okay, how did I learn to crochet? Well, those that follow me know that it was my father's mother that taught me how to crochet, and I was quite young at the time. I'd come to Australia when I was 7, so I think she'd attempted to teach me before I came to Australia, but it obviously didn't stick. When she came to Australia when I was a little bit older, I was probably about 8, it sort of stuck. She got me I've still got the book, a crochet book that's like falling apart now, very old crochet book, and it actually had drawings inside of how to do each stitch. So that's how I learnt to crochet. She sparked the interest, she taught me, and then I got this book that then provided me with a little bit of solid, this is how you do this. And as for reading patterns, I just read them. And the way my grandmother explained it to me was just do what it says and pause every time, just like you're talking, pause every time you get to a comma, or pause every time the bracket closes, and then go back to the beginning of the bracket or whatever. But that's the way I was taught to read patterns. She just says, and that's the way I read knitting patterns as well. No one taught me. I think it's almost like you would pick up a novel. Once you know what the English words were or are, no one has to teach you how to read a book. For me, I was lucky. It just clicked, and I just was able to pick it up. And yeah, like I say, my grandmother sort of said, when you get to a comma, pause. That's treat it as a new instruction, a new part, a new section of the row or round or whatever it is that you are doing. So there's that little tip. That wasn't a question though. What is your favourite thing to crochet? I think I would have to say blankets, because I do have a pile of blankets that is probably taller than I am if they were stacked up next to me, and I've given away a pile that's probably just as high again as well. So that's probably my favourite thing to crochet, although I am sort of getting very late into the Hexi-cardi thing. IVB Creates. Go watch her. She has come out with a brilliant new way to do the Hexi-cardi, and you make the way she's done it is the length, you start with the length you're going to finish with, and then all the rest is done, and it's only the width that's done. So you get the length, and then the arm and shoulder and all the rest of it, sleeve, all follow after that. So that's really great. You can determine how long you want it and start from there. I'm going to put a link to Ivy I'm going to make a note of that too. So what do I have to do? Ivy B, and then Linda, the 5 acrylics, Wool Warehouse. If I don't write these down, I won't remember. So they're the links I'm going to put down. hopefully. Okay, so that's my favorite thing to crochet. And like I said, at the moment I'm getting into, crocheting granny stitch stuff, which I've been off granny stitch for a while, but Ivy has created a new interest for me. If you could use only one yarn for the rest of your life, what would it be? It would honestly have to be something like this. It would have to be a really versatile, good range of color choices, 120, easy to care for acrylic, I think, 100% acrylic. Or my go-to, my 100% merino superwash from Bendigo Woolen Mills. Bendigo Woolen Mills does allow you to machine wash, but not obviously dry. You have to lay it flat. But I think also, trying to think sort of semi-logically here, if I was truly only allowed to buy one yarn for the rest of my days, I think I would have to choose a 4-ply. So I'd have to look to see if they do this in a 4-ply. I think they do this. I think they do it in a baby weight, which is like 4-ply. And the reason I say that is I could easily join 2 4-plies together. I could join 3 4-plies together. I could join 4 4-plies together of the same color to get various thicknesses. If I said, okay, no, I'm only going for 12-ply bulky, you're so limited. You're so limited with what you can make. So I'd probably go for an 8. This is an 8-ply. I'd probably definitely go for an 8-ply or a 4-ply. Maybe even a 5-ply. But it would, I think, have to be something really versatile like that. Which is obviously cheap, durable, and huge range of colours. What is the weirdest thing I've ever made? That's a good one. I don't know. I really can't think of the weirdest thing I've ever made. Probably that orange monster with the pointy blue hat. I don't know whether if you remember seeing that. It was on my son's girlfriend's jumper, and it was a big orange monster with a big pointy blue hat. And I said, oh, I could crochet that, and I did, and that was probably the weirdest thing I ever did. But she loved it. I gave it to her for Christmas. She loved it. But that's probably the weirdest thing I've ever done. Just off the top of my head, just sort of. I saw it and I crocheted it. Oh, this one's easy. What is something you'll never crochet? If you've ever watched any of my videos before, you will know. Answer, a lovey. I find them at the way a lovey is made. I get the purpose of them. It's got a head, stuffed toy. It's got a bit of a blanket, cuddle. I think they're... Oh dear, I don't want to say useless. That's the only... Pointless. They're pointless. I think years ago when the lovey first came out, it used to be the head of a toy, or the head, you'd crochet a head, and it used to be put in a top corner of a bigger, much bigger blanket, so the baby could hold on to the head of the toy to cuddle, and the blanket was big enough so that it would cover their body and keep them warm. So it had a point. It had a use. I get that the use is to comfort, but I can't see the point of the little blanket. If you want to give a child something to comfort them, just give them an amigurumi teddy bear or bunny or something. I don't see the point of the tiny, tiny, tiny little blanket around the neck of a head. But anyway, that's just me. That's just me. I know a lot of people love making them, and a lot of people make good money selling them. So I say good luck to you. You just won't ever see. The only way I think I'd actually make one actually is if my grandson said, "Nanny, could you make me this?" And then I'd probably go, "Yes, of course." Where do I get my inspiration? I don't know. A lot of the time I get it from other, well, not other content creators. I get it, because I mean, when I see someone doing something, it sometimes triggers another idea in my head. Like, recently with Ivy B Creates. She's, stop, no. She's created this brilliant new way to do the Hexi-cardi, and that's got me to thinking on how to do something else, not a Hexi-cardi, something sort of similar, but it's got me thinking about ways of doing things. So although it's not a same thing really, it makes me think, and I often will look at something in crochet like a Hexi-cardi and think, I wonder if I could knit a Hexi-cardi. And I'm actually trying to knit a Hexi-cardi. I started with a pinpoint cast on, and I've gone around and around and around into a hexagon shape. So yeah, but I might be unraveling that to knit this new way of doing things, because I've got this new thing that I want to try. So I don't know. This is Maggie. So yeah, and dreams. Believe it or not, I have weird dreams. I wake up, I usually have pen and paper by my bed, and I scrawl something down. In the morning, I usually look at it and go, most of the time I go, oh, brilliant idea, and I write it in another book for later on. Sometimes I look at it and think, what did I mean? Clearly, so I need to put more description. When you're half asleep, it's very hard to put description. Yeah, very hard to put descriptions, but so that's where I get a lot of inspiration, believe it or not. It's just from dreams, or yeah, I just see something in a pattern book and another idea completely different will pop into my head, or I see something on YouTube and something completely different. It just sparks another interest. Favorite thing I've made so far this year. I've got to remember what I've actually made this year. Oh, that's really hard. There is a blanket that I've made for charity, and I made it with Red Heart all-in-one granny square yarn that I got in mill-end bags, because there's no way I'd be paying $18 a ball for it. But I got all these skeins of mill-ends of Red Heart all-in-one granny mill-end bags, which is like you get 400 grams, which is 3, 6, 9, 12, say 15 ounces. Sorry, 15 ounces. I think so. 15 ounces, I think. Yeah. Yeah, 15 ounces. And that's like for 10 Australian dollars. So it's either pay 10 Australian dollars and hope to find some of the mill-ends in the some of the yarn in a mill-end bag, or you pay $18 for one 7-ounce bag. I know what I prefer. So yeah, I made that. I'm trying to remember where. There's a photo here, there, and everywhere. I think I put a photo on VJ's website, my own website, yeah, and a few other websites, I think. If I remember, I'll pop a photo in, but I doubt I'll remember. I also like what I made for Hooker versus Hooker, but I can't tell you what that is. I'll show you that. But when you see it, you can, that's one of my favourite things actually this year too. Crochet plans you're excited about for the future? Well, I can't tell you. I'm excited about so much. I have really got so many different ideas, and I often sort of think the only way I'm going to get these done is if I stop watching YouTube, put on, binge or Netflix or something like that, and just watch shows rather than watching other people make stuff. But I like to try and support everybody, and this is a problem because I looked at my recent viewed list and liked list, and for a 3-month period, I think it was, I had 5,000 videos that I'd liked. Maggie, what are you doing, darling? Where are you going? So yeah, it makes it really hard because, yeah, you try and support people and it just takes so much time away from everything else. But anyway, that's what I'm excited about, things I can't tell you about. Maggie, will you stop? Where are you going now? Oh dear. Worst thing about crochet would have to be that I've got so much I want to do that I don't think I'm ever going to get done. It's just the time factor of wanting to do stuff, knowing that you can't get it done in the time that you want to get it done. And my favourite thing about crochet is probably just when I do something like I've recently done, and I can't share that with you either. I tried it about 7 or 8 different ways, and I finally found a way that it worked, and it worked really, really well, and I was just, wow, this is great. I was really pleased with myself and with it, and I love that feeling. I love that feeling of, every time you finish a project, you get that, yay, I finished this, feeling. It's, it's that feeling of accomplishment, that feeling of gratification, I suppose, and joy and whatnot. So, yeah. So they are the 10 questions. I'm not sure if I will tag anyone to answer them or not, but there you go, Linda. I answered the questions. I gave you my good news about my grandson. I gave you Hobbii thoughts and where else you could go, and my yarn haul. So I really hope that you've lasted this long and that you enjoyed it and that you found it informative. What did you think, Maggie? I liked it very much. Amazing. A talking cat. Oh, this is for Panda. Hello, Panda. That should have echoed. I don't know whether it will or not. I'm going to have to watch it and back it and see if it actually echoed at the end. But that's a little echo dial thing. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to thank you very much for subscribing and liking and watching and doing all the things that YouTube want me to make you do. And until next time, bye for now. Take care, everybody.